right, so what's going on? This just came out 3 hours ago. Oh, I found this new website. This is the Western Journal. This just broke about this Obama White House coordinating with the CIA and FBI in a secret society takedown of America. Let's get into it. All right, right here, we're going to get into how this political and investigative collusion took place, and why would the Russians want Trump in when they were getting uranium and secrets from the Democratic side. Reasons. These documents are suggesting the possible coordination between the Central Intelligence Agency, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, the Obama White House, and Democrat officials early in Trump-Russia probe.
Stop slumming because you're pissed that you lost for once in your life.
Were there, James? There are no rules in hell.
This is another Fox News alert. We're getting late word tonight on reaction to text messages thought lost, but just found at the center of bias allegations against two former members of the Mueller special counsel team. Questions surrounding the FBI. Chief Intelligence Correspondent Catherine Herridge is here tonight with how all this came together. Good evening, Catherine.
Thank you, Brett. Writing to FBI Director Christopher Wray, the Republican chairman of the Senate Judiciary Committee, Chuck Grassley, says texts from October 2016 suggest then FBI Director James Comey's chief of staff, Jim Rybicki, believed Deputy Director Andrew McCabe should recuse himself from the Clinton email case. McCabe's wife got more than $700,000 from Democrats, including longtime Clinton ally Terry McAuliffe, for a state Senate race. FBI lawyer Lisa Page writes, Rybicki just called to check in. He very much 100% believes that Andy should be recused because of the perception. Agent Peter Strzok replies, God. Later, Strzok writes, I assume McAuliffe picked up, but that doesn't make sense. He said he was interviewing. Maybe he's headed into private practice. McCabe did not recuse himself until 1 week before the presidential election. The new concerns about the Bureau's impartiality come on the same day new texts are confirmed. Writing to the senior senators with oversight, the Justice Department Inspector General Michael E. Horowitz, who first discovered the anti-Trump texts between demoted FBI agent Peter Strzok and reassigned FBI lawyer Lisa Page, said a forensic review recovered records between December 2016 and May. The letter did not fully explain why senators were told in August the Inspector General had everything, only to learn last week that thousands of records were missing. Before traveling to Switzerland during an impromptu discussion with reporters, the president chastised some media for avoiding the story.
I do worry when I look at all of the things that you people don't report about with what's happening. If you take a look at, the 5 months worth of missing texts, that's a lot of missing texts.
As the texts were apparently found, the political rhetoric over the 4-page memo documenting alleged government surveillance abuse took a new turn. With the House Intelligence Committee's Republican chairman, whose staff drafted the memo, traveling overseas, the ranking Democrat drafted his own version and took a swipe at the media who are covering the allegations.
They didn't care what was in the underlying documents. They wanted to make a political statement. They wanted to feed the beast on Fox News. They wanted to do what they could to derail the Mueller investigation.
A former FBI agent elected to the House as a Republican said the Democrats' national security concerns are overblown.
I've read the memo along with several of my colleagues. In my estimation, having had exposure and experience with both FISA and Title III wiretaps, that there are no law enforcement sensitive sources or methods that would be compromised here.
In a letter, the Justice Department expressed its own reservations, calling any release of the memo unprecedented and reckless. The FBI and Justice Department want a review before it goes public.
Let us see it first. At this point, nobody in the Senate or the White House or the Department of Justice or FBI has seen this document.
Though the senators can't read the document, the minority leader weighed in.
Today it's this memo. On and on and on. Conspiracy theories with virtually no fact.
Some Republicans were pressed on the wisdom of releasing the memo.
When the public begins to question the integrity of the department and the FBI and conclude in the absence of other information that somehow politics has taken over rather than the law, that's a very serious matter, and we need to get that cleared up through one means or another.
The House Intelligence Committee would not comment on reports. The memo identifies McCabe, Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein, and Comey. Brett.
Catherine, on Tuesday, Republican Senator Ron Johnson made a comment on this show that raised a lot of eyebrows to me and then the reaction to it. And today, somewhat sounded like he changed his tune.
We have an informant that's talking about a group that were holding secret meetings off-site. There's so much smoke here. There's so much suspicion.
Let's stop there. A secret society, secret meetings off-site of the Justice Department.
Correct.
And you have an informant saying that.
Yes.
This text message seems to be a comment about secret society was in jest. Do you agree that it appears to be it was in jest?
It's a real possibility.
Saying it's a possibility. Catherine, what are you hearing about the dust-up over those two words, secret society?
Well, we've confirmed the text message was sent one day after the election, and Page writes to Strzok, quote, "Are you even going to give out your calendar? Seems kind of depressing. Maybe it should just be the first meeting of the secret society." Fox News is told this is the only reference in the 384 pages of FBI text provided to Congress last week. But for some context, 3 weeks later in December 2016, the 5-month gap of missing texts begins, and no one on the Hill knows what they show and whether they back up Senator Johnson's whistleblower, who claims senior FBI officials held these off-site meetings. So we'll see when those newly recovered text messages are provided to Congress. Brett.
All right, so it goes on to say newly uncovered text messages between FBI officials Peter Strzok and Lisa Page suggest a possible coordination between high-ranking officials at the Obama White House. CIA, FBI, Justice Department, and former Senate Democratic leadership in the early stages of the investigation into alleged collusion between the Trump campaign and Russia, according to GOP congressional investigators on Wednesday. Republican investigators provided documents to Fox News, which they say strongly suggest coordination between former President Barack Obama's chief of staff, Dennis McDonogh, then Senate Democratic leader Harry Reid, and we know he's a crooked son of a bitch, right? CIA Director John Brennan, crooked, which they say would contradict the Obama administration's public stance about its hand in the process. Page texted Strzok on August 2nd, 2016, saying, "Make sure you can lawfully protect what you sign. Just thinking about Congress, FOIA, etc. You probably know better than me." A text message from Strzok to Page on August 3 described former FBI Deputy Director Andrew McCabe as being concerned with information control related to the initial investigation into the Trump campaign. According to a report from the New York Times, Brennan was sent to Capitol Hill around the same time to brief members of Congress on the possibility of election interference. So he's going and doing election interference. He's briefing Congress on election interference while he's interfering with the election. Days later, on August 8, 2016, Strzok texted Page, "Internal Joint Cyber CD Intel piece for D. Scene setter for McDonogh, brief trainer, head of FBI Cyber Division, directed all cyber info to be pulled. I'd bet Bill and Jim hammer it out first, though it would be best for D to have it before the Wednesday White House session." So let me read that again. Okay, so Internal Joint Cyber CD Intel piece for D. Scene setter for McDonogh, brief. You know the guy, McDonogh, that's what I call him. Trainer, head of FBI Cyber Division. Directed all cyber info be pulled. I'd bet Bill and Jim hammer it out first, though it would be best for D to have it before the Wednesday White House session. In the text, D refers to FBI Director James Comey, and Donut referred to Chief of Staff Dennis McDonogh. Donut, or whatever, Donut. The GOP investigator said. All right, so is James Comey a secret, is he an SES? Is he a senior executive associate? Is McCabe a senior executive associate? FBI officials Peter Strzok and Lisa Page texted about briefing given to former Obama Chief of Staff Dennis McDonogh. Here's McDonogh right here. That's McDonogh. See the guy in the background on the left? They all know what time it is, you know? Look at. Very surprised to see McDonogh, especially that chick in the glasses. Very surprised at McDonogh. We're not making conclusions. What we are saying is the timeline is concerning enough to warrant the appointment of an independent investigator to look at whether or not the Obama White House was involved in the Trump-Russia investigation, a GOP congressional source told Fox. The congressional investigators pointed out to Fox that the CIA and FBI are supposed to be independent agencies and noted coordination between political actors at the White House and investigators would be inappropriate. I think it would be illegal too. I mean, are you supposed to have those entities being on a political, having it aimed at, basically being on one side and not the other? I mean, it seems like everything has been the tech sector, the FBI, the CIA, they've all been hijacked by the Democratic New World Order side, raising questions about the level of involvement of Obama White House officials. But weeks later, on August 25, 2016, Brennan went to Capitol Hill to brief Harry Reid, Crooked Harry Reid, and it was unclear whether FBI officials attending the briefing, a congressional source told Fox News. So it was unclear whether FBI officials attended the briefing. Here's Brennan. Former CIA Director John Brennan. Seen here, briefed then Senator Harry Reid from Nevada 2 days before the Democratic leader wrote a letter to Comey. Two days after the briefing, Crooked Harry Reid penned a letter to Comey requesting an investigation into potential collusion between the Trump campaign and Russia. Oh, I remember that. It's all planned. It's all planned. This whole thing was a secret society co-op. I mean, there is a secret society. And first of all, they're like, well, they didn't talk about it. Well, it wouldn't be secret then, would it? I mean, if it was mentioned and then it wasn't mentioned again, it is a secret society. And it's good because secret society is a very good way of saying what this exactly was. It was a very coordinated, strategic way not to just take over the presidential campaign, but they were trying to knock out America. This was a plan to take down America. The evidence of a direct connection between the Russian government and Donald Trump's presidential campaign continues to mount and has led Michael Morale, the former acting Central Intelligence Director, to call Trump an unwitting agent of Russia and the Kremlin. Reid, a Nevada Democrat, wrote, oh, well, see, they just keep their investigation going. How many millions of dollars are they getting? These people are getting paid. They could just leave it open. You know what I'm saying? They're looking into everything. Basically, if Trump slips up, they're documenting everything. The FBI can indict a ham sandwich. They could make anybody guilty. It's unbelievable, this of what's going on. And then to have all this evidence come out of what they were doing before, and it's still, they're allowed to have this investigation go on. Even if you don't like Trump, you should see that this is unbelievable. I can't believe Democrats, now that Trump was elected, that they're not screaming for something to be done with how their vote was stolen. No Democrats wanted Hillary Clinton. They all wanted Bernie. And Hillary stole it from them. They should be pissed off. Unbelievable. The prospect of a hostile government actively seeking to undermine our free and fair elections represents one of the greatest threats to our democracy since the Cold War, and it is critical for the Federal Bureau of Investigation to use every resource available to investigate this matter thoroughly and in a timely fashion. Wait a minute. Harry Reid's calling for the corrupt FBI to, what, investigate itself? See what I'm saying? They're involved in this cover-up. They're involved in covering up what happened in Las Vegas. We're not depending on the FBI to give the American people the truth. And of course, Harry Reid, we've got the FBI, every resource available. Go to hell. Reid cited reports in his letter noting methods Russia was using to influence Trump campaign and manipulate it as a vehicle for advancing the interest of Russian President Vladimir Putin. Oh, the Russians wanted Trump, yeah. Even though the Democrats and Hillary and Obama, they were giving them everything the Russians want. Why would the Russians even want Trump in office? They'd want Hillary because Hillary was selling out America. Why wouldn't that country take advantage of what they were doing? They were basically giving the uranium. They were giving them the keys to the kingdom. Why the hell would they even want Trump in office? You lying sack of crap. Reid added that recent staff changes within the Trump campaign have made clear that the Trump campaign has employed a number of individuals with significant and disturbing ties to Russia and the Kremlin, urging Comey to make the investigation public. Son of a bitch liars. The New York Times first reported on Reed's letter to Comey August 29, 2016. The following day, August 30, 2016, Page texted Strzok, "Here we go," sending a link to the Times reported Harry Reid cites evidence of Russian tampering in U.S. vote and seeks FBI inquiry. She said, "Here we go," because they knew of the plan. They already knew of the plan. So when she texted, "Here we go," and they sent the link, Harry cites evidence of Russian tampering, it was all the secret society. It was all the secret plan being formulated. And she goes, "Here we go," because she knew of the plan. She knew the role she was supposed to play. Come on. Look at this crooked son of a bitch. Congress needs to, they need to hang for this. They can't just be above the law while our country goes down in flames. I'm sorry. These people need to be at the end of a rope, and I'm serious. Like, they have committed treason. Roy Potter's like, "Oh, well, you throw treason around." No, I'm throwing it around absolutely on point here, sir. Strzok replied, Comey said at a morning briefing that Reid called him and told him he would be sending a letter. Congressional investigators suggested that the Reid letter possibly provided cover for the fact that the FBI and Justice Department had already begun investigating the Trump campaign in mid-July on what they called questionable ethical and legal grounds. The "Here we go" text between Strzok and Page indicates the FBI DOJ knew the letter from Reid was coming. Yeah, it was a secret society plan. They all came up with this plan, and then they enacted it, and they started seeing it in the press, and they knew what was coming. It was all a script that they were running. It was a play they were running. A congressional source told Fox, this created the interference they knew it would create, public calls for an investigation into Russian interference, covering them. The source told Fox News on Wednesday that investigators were neither passing judgment nor claiming a smoking gun, but suggested the timeline was incredibly concerning. At some point, the amount of concerning information becomes enough for a special counsel to look into it. Look at this crooked. Look at these crooked people. Crooked. I'm not sure about him, but crooked. Crooked. Unbelievable. All right, I wanted to share that with you. I'm out of here. Have a good day.
I can't very well sit at home while Gotham goes straight to hell.